Good morning. This is JB Portello with Bella Vista Community TV. Hi there. Boy, am I excited this morning. I have been wanting to talk to this gentleman whom I'm about to introduce you to for a very long time. This is Brandon Kelly, and he is the director of...
Discover Bella Vista.
Yes. Yes. You know, I want to know a lot about you here in a few minutes.
Okay.
But let's get off to a really interesting, I hope educational start. We're talking this morning about the Bella Vista Advertising and Promotion Commission.
Correct, yes.
Which is?
Advertising Promotion Commission. We do business as Discover Bella Vista because it's easier to remember and, of course, associated with Bella Vista.
Okay.
But our role or our job, what we're tasked with, is creating advertising, which is a lot of times content, video content, sharing that content out with our target states, encouraging those people to come to Bella Vista to visit and to, as they say, heads in beds and butts in seats. So heads in beds are making sure they're in the vacation rentals that we have here. And then the butts in seats part are the restaurants. So we want to make sure that the vacation rentals have a lot of folks coming through, and also the restaurants have a lot of folks coming through. So that is our main goal. Attract people here and really get them to spend money in Bella Vista.
Absolutely. So I heard you say target states? Or
yes.
What does that mean?
Well, we have a few attractions here, but the critical thing to know is our bike trails are really the only open public attraction. So our lakes, you can be on the lake, but only if you stay in a short-term rental and only if you have a guest pass.
Right.
So the one attraction that we have where we can invite anyone to come here and participate in Bella Vista are the trails. So we focus our advertising on areas that are heavily into mountain biking or cycling or outdoor activities. And then since COVID, we've narrowed that down to the drive market. So that's essentially all the states where we are within driving distance.
Ah, okay.
So we have a little zone all around Arkansas, and that's where we target most of our advertising. And then, of course, to mountain bike hotspots, let's say in California or Utah, where people will travel farther.
I got you. All right. So before we go any further, who is Brandon Kelly?
Who is Brandon Kelly?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose first and foremost, I'm a marketing nerd. I have been for quite some time. Okay. I can just let that out in public now. So I've been in advertising and marketing for quite a while, probably 20 years now. Worked in consumer electronics, worked in hospitality, worked in beauty.
Beauty?
Yes.
Ew, we'll talk about that later.
All right. And so I am very data-driven, always has been, and the data just gets better and better and better. Now I am, my focus is telling people stories about Bella Vista, exciting them, attracting them to come here, and then also helping them have a great experience when they get here.
So how did you, when did you start with Discover Bella Vista, and how did we find you? How did that happen?
Well, oftentimes if you find someone quite far away from home, so I'm originally from California, and then Colorado after that, is that they typically fall in love. So yep, that is how it works. So I fell in love with a woman from Monett, Missouri, which is about an hour north. And I kind of assumed that she would come to California, but I noticed that I was here. And so I looked around Monett, and there's, there's some dairy and things like that, but I just didn't know where I would fit in there. Luckily, I drove an hour south, and I found Northwest Arkansas. And my goodness, what an open, embracing, amazing community. And then someone with my skill sets definitely found folks to partner with, and that's how I got started here in Northwest Arkansas.
Wow. So you've been with Discover Bella Vista for how long?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, I started with them. I did some subcontracting for them, digital advertising. That was all advertising, they harnessing the data and helping them drive their ads. And then when that director left at that time, then I was offered the position to take over as director. And so I excitedly accepted it because honestly, it was at the time a labor of love. It was something that took more time than I expected. And you can't just stay behind the computer. You have to get out there and work events and put your tent up and hand out flyers. And
that's why I see you everywhere.
That's where I'm either out handing out flyers at the shows or somewhere on the trail taking videos or taking photos to really capture Bella Vista, which I tell you, if you are a photographer, is not easy to capture all the time.
Oh, I can only imagine. I could never do that. Do you ride as well?
I do ride, as a matter of fact. And I hadn't ridden in a long time. And I took over in 2020, which is right with COVID. So my list of photographers, drone operators, mountain bike people shrunk to zero. And so for that time, I went out myself. And I really appreciate that because rather than just hiring subcontractors during that time, I was able to go out, get to know every trail, experience it as a person returning to mountain biking, so not as some sort of mountain biking champ, but for the folks that come here, our average folks, they know how to ride. They've typically not ridden on this type of trails before. And so I had firsthand knowledge to say, hey, here's how you do it safely. Here's how you have a good time. Because you need safety and a good time if you actually want them to come back.
Exactly. So you are a one-man show, sort of.
Yeah, one man in a way. So I do all the strategic planning. I typically am creating the ads, the copy for the ads, choosing who our target markets are, handling negotiations with the events that come here, other partners. But I also have a really great team of subcontractors. So if we need additional videographers, real drone pilots.
There's a lot of wannabes.
I qualify as a wannabe drone pilot. So if we want FPV, which is first person chasing behind the bikes, things like that, we have great people to do that. Great people who work on our SEO, the search engine optimization.
Yes.
And then as things change, advertising gets more and more complicated in many ways. Then we can hire specialists in a particular area. So AI, for example.
I was going to ask you about AI.
Yes,
Do you use AI?
We do. So AI is completely changing the way we search for things and the way we get information. And also the way that we prepare information on Bella Vista has to be in a very certain way for AI to pick that up and to promote it on the pages. So that requires certain expertise. So for things like that, there are people who are far better at it than I am, and I always make sure we hire for that.
Good job. So you said that the ads, and maybe you said this, but help me help them.
Yeah.
The ads for Bella Vista have to be a certain style, a certain way. What does that mean?
Well, it means we're competing typically with places, with towns or destinations, which have significantly bigger budgets than we do.
Gotcha.
Yes. So when someone is planning a trip or deciding where they want to take their family, they're watching videos from our neighbors here in Northwest Arkansas. They're watching videos from other places like California. And so most of those are quite well produced, and they give off a signal of quality. And so really for us to compete, we also have to reach that level of quality, but with significantly less money.
And a good hook.
And a good hook. Yeah, and what I love about Bella Vista is we never have to exaggerate. So we are quite down to earth in that way. The Bella Vista overnight experience, which is really what we share with people, is, in my opinion, humble opinion, the best in Northwest Arkansas. So if you stay in one of our rentals, our short-term rental people, they are so passionate about what they do. So the rentals are beautiful. They're beautifully outfitted. They welcome mountain bikers. So they have oftentimes a little workshop inside, or the extra spokes and tools.
Yes. Or chargers.
Yes. When I first started about 5 years ago, almost none of the short-term rentals talked about the trails. It was mostly golf, etc.
Right.
And then little by little, as they saw that group was something not to be afraid of, so they tend to be older folks. They tend to travel as couples or small groups. They tend not to make a lot of noise or to upset the neighbors.
Right.
And they saw, wow, this is a great target for us. And now if you look at Airbnb, you'll see many of them call themselves, Trailside Villa, or you name it. They've got posters in there. we actually have a shop online where we produce Bella Vista themed pillows and blankets and things. So the short-term rental owner can put those things into their short-term rental and give it that up-close and personal feel.
Where's this shop? Is it on your website?
It is, yeah.
So I know that Paul back there is really good at stuff, and we trust him to just listen to us and work magic. And I guarantee you that pretty soon here, we're going to have your website up here on the screen.
Yes, it's Discover Bella Vista, AR. That's the tricky part.
We got to do the tricky part.
The AR. And then on there, there's a button in the corner for the shop. So if you're a short-term rental owner and you would like anything from cups to maps, anything that would give that Bella Vista feel to the short-term rental, then go to that site, check out the shop, and I think you'll be surprised at how much we have to offer.
I am surprised. I had no idea that there was anything like that out there.
Yes.
That's good. Do you work at all with that kind of stuff? I'm always, if anybody has a small superpower, one of mine is getting people together. So
that's when a great superpower.
Talk to people, I think, ooh, he needs to talk to.
I like it.
Do you work with the historical museum?
Yes. Especially when we very first started, which was during COVID. All of the AMPs, now there's an AMP in each of the small towns around us, Bentonville, Rogers, Fayetteville. We were all, and we worked together a lot. We're all trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do during this time? And so one of the things that we did was really reach into Bella Vista history. So we went down to the museum, an amazing place if you have not been there.
I'm a docent.
Oh, you're a docent?
So I know.
Okay. If you have even the slightest sort of marketing nerd hiding inside, it's amazing because Bella Vista started really as a destination, and they have brochures from back then telling the folks in Texas and Oklahoma what a great place this was. So I was excited because that means that there was a long tradition of telling stories about Bella Vista, and so I was happy to be a part of that tradition. So long answer to that, yes.
Yes. Oh, that's exciting. So let's talk a little bit more about, you said that each little, well, not little, but the surrounding towns or whatever, each have their own A&P.
They do, yeah. And so each AMP, so they're quite a bit larger. So our annual budget is usually under $500,000. As a comparison, most of them are in the millions, $3.5 million to $4 million to $5 million.
I can imagine.
But each one has an AMP, and all of our jobs are the same. So they're to attract, so if you are in Bentonville, your job is to attract folks to Bentonville. So we're colleagues in a way. So we all work together to promote Northwest Arkansas because people have to know you exist before they come and visit. But then once they get into Northwest Arkansas, we are competitive.
Okay. I was going to say.
We are competitive.
Yes. Bentonville is awesome, but we're more awesome.
We are so more awesome, I would say that. And what I love about it, too, is that the key to getting people to come back is for them to have a great experience.
Yes.
So there's always a reason to be authentic and direct and transparent in your advertising. So if you'd like to come out and sit on a deck and look at the stars, or barbecue, or go for a trail ride and come back to an actual garage and wash your bike off, well, that's Bella Vista, right? Bentonville is also great. They have this great downtown, so if you want to sit at a cafe or have a microbrew, and that's your jam, so to speak, then that's great. And so to me, my goal is, yes, we are competitive for those dollars, but I also want to make sure that the right people go to the place that will make them the happiest. So when we market, we say basically if you want to have a big party, Bella Vista is not your spot, really, because this is a quiet community. I'm a resident here. I like the fact that it's quiet.
Yes.
So if you want to come here, enjoy the nature, listen to the silence, etc., this is your spot. If you want something different than that, then maybe Bentonville's your spot, or maybe Fayetteville's your spot.
But we want them to come back.
We want them to come back, and that's the critical part.
And bring their friends.
Bring their friends, and really lifetime customer value. So that just means if someone really enjoys this, and we see this often at an event, someone will be back for their third time, fourth time, fifth time. Not only are they coming back, but that whole time they're sharing their experience with other people, sharing it with their family, and that network goes out. And so one happy customer can really result in a lot of folks coming to Bella Vista and having a great time.
And so many of them move here.
And they do move here, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
There's a little thing that we try to do, and that is when we create an ad, we want the ad to attract folks that we would like to have as our own neighbor.
I gotcha. Well, let's take a quick break.
You bet.
And we'll be right back because I want to know, about the board and so many other things.
You bet.
On Tuesday, November 18th, the City of Bella Vista will hold a special election. The City of Bella Vista would like to extend the current sales tax bond that is currently in place. A vote of yes is not an increase in our sales tax. With the passage of this vote, the city plans to secure bonds based on the promise of repayment with sales tax revenue. This is like a mortgage and a way for the city to borrow money and pay it back over time. This new bond would be used to pay off the existing debt, fund major long-term capital projects, free up current funds, and replenish city reserves, broaden the tax burden to tourists and out-of-town visitors, fund new capital improvements without raising taxes. If the ballot item to repay the existing debt does not pass, the city will face increased costs, delays, or cancellation of future much-needed projects. The city will need to use reserve funds to pay expenses and seek other financing options for these projects that could result in an increase for taxpayers. With the approval of this bond, first, Bella Vista will pay existing debt, $6.175 million for the remaining balance on the current sales tax bond, $5.12 million for the remaining balance on franchise fee bond. The city needs $8 million to complete the renovation of City Hall and the existing fire bays, and perform new construction of 2 fire bays, a gym, and office and storage space. The fire department needs $6 million to build a new fire station and a replacement fire truck, plus 2 ambulance remounts. The police department needs $3 million to install 3 radio towers and purchase and maintain new police cars for 2 years. The street department needs $6.1 million to cover the cost of 2 years of street resurfacing and to purchase replacement backhoe and excavator, plus a new grader and roller.
So we're back. Wow. I could talk to you forever. I could. So we're going to have to periodically, come back and do another update, okay?
All right.
But right now, I want to know how you're governed by a board,
Yes,
correct? Tell us about that.
So it's a commission, and so
It's a commission.
A commission, yes, and so the AMP is set for everyone in Arkansas by a state law, right? So the state law passed an ordinance so that the individual communities could establish an AMP so they could generate some revenue in order to attract tourists.
Okay.
As part of that, in the commission, we have representatives from the hospitality industry, so that can be either a restaurant or a short-term rental. We also have representatives from the city council as well. And then there's also an at-large position. So if there's someone who is part of the community but doesn't fit necessarily at one of those, then there's a spot for that person too. And so they are the oversight, financial oversight, messaging oversight, you name it. And so every quarter, I go in, prepare the results, all of our data, what's worked, what hasn't worked, all of our marketing, as well as talking about what we're going to do in the future, so they can weigh in and say, hey, I like that, don't like that, etc. So they are the ones that really keep the ship on course.
And they have they're very active and important in the community anyway, so they're
Yes.
driven to make this go right. How many people are on the commission?
We have 4 for hospitality,
Okay.
2 from city council, and then 1 at-large position.
I got you.
Yes.
And how long do they serve?
They serve a 2-year term.
Okay.
Yes, and it's really important. I don't need to encourage them, but I always encourage them. And that is, if they represent hospitality or the hotel or the short-term rental, really to challenge me. Hey, is that really going to bring people here? Is that going to convert? Is the revenue going to convert? Events are a lot of work and a lot of effort.
Oh, yes.
But do they really translate to a financial benefit for short-term rentals and for the restaurants and also for Bella Vista? So we're always trying to analyze, make sure that if we sponsor an event or work an event or any of the projects that we do, that the payback is clear and obvious and repeatable.
But you do need a little bit of balance. I mean, sometimes it's not all about the money.
Sometimes.
You know, you need that PR, you need to do that thing that could bring in the money later.
Yeah, and you also never know. I try to remind myself when we're packing the U-Haul for another event, suffice to say, it's a lot of stuff, it's very heavy. You never know who you're going to meet or who you're going to run into and what world they live in and how much influence they have. We now have a influencer culture.
Yes,
so
we do.
We do. So the person can walk up to your booth and you don't know how many followers they have or what questions they have. And so we want to make sure that we're always out there and always available to interact with these folks.
And are there for facts and being kind.
Yes.
And understanding.
Absolutely.
You know, you have to be on all the time when you're out, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Because really, I mean, we aspire to be a great representative of Bella Vista and the things that we hold true and what we value here. And that's why we're there on the ground. The same reason we produce T-shirts and things like that, things to sort of elevate Bella Vista in the awareness of folks and let them know what an amazing place this is to come and visit.
So how are you financed?
Oh,
Where do you get your money?
Oh, okay. So the money is authorized by the state, and so we are authorized by the state to collect a 2% tax on short-term rentals and a 1% on restaurants. So what's important to know is it's what's called a pass-through tax. That means, so let's take the short-term rentals, that's pretty easy. Airbnb and VRBO, they collect that tax actually on behalf of the short-term rental owner.
Okay.
So they turn in, this is how much business we do. Airbnb collects that 2%, and then it sends it directly to us.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So one thing to note, if the AMP disappears, or if we weren't here, so too would that tax money. So the tax money just evaporates, right?
Say that again. That's
Yeah.
an important comment.
It is. So this transient occupancy tax used all around the country. So that money, someone comes here and stays, and they pay an extra 2% on their short-term rental. Now that 2% does not go into the pocket of the short-term rental owner and then come back out to us. It goes directly through Airbnb and then comes to us, right? It's on top. So if the AMP is not here, then Airbnb no longer collects that tax. It just disappears. Along with all of the benefits that the AMP brings, they just disappear. There's nothing in exchange.
That makes perfect sense. And that's what a lot of people do not understand. So what about the, you were talking about the 2%, but what about the 1% for food?
Yeah, 1% for food. So all of the Bella Vista restaurants together, so it's about 48% of their total revenue comes from out-of-town visitors.
Good to know.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't believe or don't understand that out-of-town visitors actually do bring money into Bella Vista.
They really,
now,
really
we could do more.
Yeah, we could do more. And Bella Vista is such an unusual place because, keeping the money here is really the trick and what we're always trying to focus on. But for the restaurant, something important to think about, so about 50%, 48% comes from outside of their revenue. So again, if the AMP disappears, then that just disappears along with it, all right? And so it's a challenge to be a restaurant owner for sure anywhere. They put in a ton of work, and so that extra cash that comes in through the visitors is one way that they can stay afloat and keep doing the thing that they love doing.
Boy, I just feel like I've read an encyclopedia this morning. No, this is fabulous. Tell me how you believe that, tell me how, that this bike lift is, how do you feel about that? Is that exciting?
It is, yeah, it's very exciting. So as a person marketing a town, let's say, you need stories. You want to have stories to tell people so that they get excited about coming here. The bike park is a great story, especially for the folks that like that kind of thing. It's going to be family oriented. So some bike parks are very much only about, jumping and tricks. This is really about progression. It's about learning how to use the bike park and learning how to jump. They go from beginner to intermediate to advanced, and also has lots of viewing areas, so it encourages families to do it together.
So that lift then just takes them to a lot of other, we don't even know what's up there.
Yeah, it takes them up, and then they ride down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can also walk it.
And you can walk it. There will be hiking trails, and there will also be a paved trail which goes all the way up to the top, which the e-bikes sometimes use. But if you're here in Bella Vista and you're a hiker, it is a beautiful piece. They're going to preserve the aesthetics of it. So you'll always have that to go and hike and sit. The cafe is open to everyone, so you don't need to use the lift to use the cafe. So it's the addition of another cafe.
So you could be like at a ski lodge when you don't really want to do anything other than look cute.
That is true.
You can sit there at the...
Yeah, I would say in California I spent most of the time in the lodge.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Did you look cute?
I tried.
Okay. But you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. And isn't there also, maybe you said this, but there's a cafe, but there's also a bike shop and places where you can get fixed if you need fixed.
So there's a small bike shop that does repairs for the bikes that you can rent. There's a large rental shop, so these bikes are downhill. They're special for going downhill. So you can actually come to Bella Vista without your bikes. You can go there, you can rent a bike, and there's also a pro shop for anything that you might need in addition to that.
You know, when we were first talking about this, we had a lot of folks at the Planning Commission, but also the City Council, all worried about traffic.
Yeah.
But the really great thing about anything we do, if we do it right, is we did do traffic pattern study.
Absolutely.
And discovered that, hey, it's not all about all these cars coming here necessarily, because a lot of people are coming in on their bikes, and weekends versus weekdays.
Absolutely.
So all that takes place before anything major like that happens.
That's correct. And another good thing to think about is that there's a lot of data that goes into these projects, right? And compatibility with community is a big part of it, because they want to be, there's a lot of investment.
Yes.
A lot of investment. It's going to take time to recoup that investment. So they want their relationship to the community to be strong, to have Bella Vistans excited about them being here.
Right.
And bringing some vibrancy, but without disrupting our lives, which I think as Bella Vistans, we enjoy the quiet, we enjoy the peace, and so having an attraction, but preserving the way of life of Bella Vistans.
And that's just a start, because I see over the next, I don't know, what, maybe 10 years, maybe sooner, I don't know. But what Bella Vista really needs is more business, more commercial. And I get little glimmers and little hopes of that happening before too long.
Yes, so telling stories to bring folks here is important. I also think telling stories that bring a sense of pride and place to Bella Vistans is important. What's also important is to give a sense for folks out there who are developers, who want to start a business, that this is the kind of place that not only would they like to start a business, but also raise their family. So we have a lot of young couples with children who are a part of our storytelling. And so I feel if there's an entrepreneur sitting somewhere in America, they say, hey, I can go there, I can ride my bike, great community, a welcoming community, and that's where I'd like to start my business. So as part of what we do is to inspire folks to come here and make a positive contribution.
So I heard you say you're not just outward focusing.
Right.
You focus inwardly as well.
We do. So we support quite a few events here in town. So some of them are very local, like our fireworks display, very local. Other events they come in with a larger company, and then we're here to make sure the event happens in a way that is compatible with Bella Vista. And so with that, there is a focus on giving the community great things to do. In fact, just the Corgi Wiener race.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Did you go?
We supported that,
okay.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't see you there, but boy, it was huge this year.
Yes, and so things like that we love to support. The golf tournament that was here, the American Junior Golf Association, lots of families come in for that to support their kids. We make sure that they know where the short-term rentals are, et cetera, and to encourage them to come back.
Okay.
And those folks eventually may choose to move here and live here. And again, the town continues to become vibrant, more vibrant.
Okay. We have a couple of minutes left. I want people to know, because I didn't know this, that you have these quarterly meetings.
We do.
And where are they?
They are in the POA conference room.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's every quarter, and it is the third Thursday in every quarter.
Okay.
And in that's open to the public.
Yes.
And so we encourage folks to come in. There's a public comment session there. So if there's something that you want to express, I will warn you, there is a lot of data. And so I do put it up. So in terms of our traffic reports or the performance reports, et cetera, there's a lot of that, but there's a lot of sharing of the advertising we do, of the print ads, of the video ads, as well as a summary of the events that we participated in. Now, mind you, it's not always roses. Sometimes we'll
No.
sometimes we'll do an event, we'll analyze it, and we'll say, hey, that didn't work based on what our mission is. So we're always evaluating and making sure that things are on track.
Okay. And that's at the POA boardroom at the Bella Vista Country Club.
Yes.
Okay. And it's quarterly
Yes.
on, say again, the third.
Third Thursday every quarter. Yes.
What time?
It is at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
3 o'clock.
Are those sessions recorded?
They are all recorded, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're available if you can't be there?
That's
you can,
correct.
Okay.
You can,
We
you
need
can
to
listen to the audio on that, of course, yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yes,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
This is really great, and I just want everybody to realize how important the A&P Commission is, not only here but everywhere. Nobody really understands the mechanics behind and what keeps it up. You take it away, and in a minute they'd find out just how valuable it would be.
I would say so. The financial impact, just the tax impact, the sales tax on all of that activity has doubled in the last 5 years. That means that the tax revenue has also doubled in the last 5 years.
We are out of time.
Okay.
But what fun I've had today. Thank
I
you for
really-
being here.
I appreciate it. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Okay, Bella Vista, just wait. I don't know what we're going to do to top Let's Talk About It next month, but I'm going to work on it. Okay?
Excellent. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.